Well, thank you so much for talking with me. I'm actually really excited because I haven't heard, excuse me, I have not heard you play.
Okay.
But I love your name alone, Chicks with Picks. When I saw that, I was like, I have to meet these people because I think it's just a fantastic name. What made you come up with that name?
So it's actually a story we get asked about a lot. The reason that we're called Chicks with Picks, we used to be called Somewhere in Between, because we didn't necessarily have a genre. We tend to kind of float around from, we do everything from oldies to classic rock to current top 40. But that name never stuck. Like nobody really, somewhere in between. And we were playing a gig in Hanmer at Cousin Vinny's, and a guy walked up to us and he's like, "That's really cool, two chicks with picks." And we're like, "Oh, you're like, that's something." So yeah, that's where we got the name from.
That's where have you ever seen that guy since?
No,
does he know that?
Thank you. Yeah, if he's watching, thank you. Yeah. I think Chicks with Picks definitely sticks to people's minds, which is great. And yeah, it's definitely not as forgetful as Somewhere in Between, or as forgettable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great story though too. I'm imagine that every time he's like, I named those ladies. I made them who they are today. So how long have you been performing?
So our first gig ever was in the year we played in January of 2000 at a bar in Lively. So we're current with 24 years. So every time the calendar changes, we know exactly how long it's been. Yeah. So in January of next year, it'll have been 25 years. Our silver, I guess. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So you must enjoy doing it.
We do. And I mean, Nancy and I both work full time. And we both have families, and, obviously we're very busy, but this played a very big part in our life. But it's like that controllable part of your life. It's something that you enjoy. You get to book when you want. You get to go out and play and entertain and do what you love. Mm-hmm. But it's not something that we were kind of forced into doing. It never felt like a job. It always felt like, kind of that passion being able to happen.
That's awesome. And so you mentioned that you have families. Are your families pretty supportive of what you do? Do they help out or?
100%. Yeah, 100%. So I would say that, on my side, I mean, my family comes out to watch all the time. They're great. Nancy's husband's very supportive as well. They help pack up the car. They help, unload the car. They help us set up from time to time. So yeah, no, absolutely supportive.
That's fantastic. So you were saying that the type of music that you play, that you Nancy play, is very eclectic, like some different genres. What kind of influence what you play?
So Nancy and I, for anybody who's ever heard us, is very filled with harmony. So for us, it's very much about the vocals. So I would say that bands that have influenced us would be things like the Beatles. Anything that's current that has a lot of harmony in it, we're drawn to it. That's kind of what leads us. But the Eagles, anything like that kind of has that 3-4 part harmony. We're trying to do it with two voices. And no machines. So, I mean, we're doing what we can. But yeah, I think classic rock too. Like, I think the group that enjoys us the most is the group that has a real appreciation for kind of like that kind of music. So I'd say we do a little bit of everything, but we don't shy away from doing the top 40 stuff either. So, like we've learned some Ed Sheeran, we've learned some, so like we do the new stuff as well. Yes. So it depends on the day.
Yeah. So how do your audiences energize you?
So for us, I mean, we get it. You play a certain role. Sometimes you're playing at a bar and you're background. Sometimes you're playing in a theater and you're the center of attention. So I think it depends on, what kind of venue it is and what the expectation is. I would say what energizes me particularly, and I mean, I think I can speak for Nancy too, but it's anytime that you see that one person in the crowd just enjoying you. And like, that's all you need to have a really great night as a performer. I don't need everybody, to stop eating and stop talking and look over. It's really about, if you can hit one person emotionally, then to me, we've had fun that night.
That's awesome. What would you say about being a Northerner that shapes you as an artist, both you and Nancy? And because I imagine that you've traveled quite a bit at different gigs that you've had. So how would you say that being a Northerner shapes how you perform?
Yeah, so the furthest north we've gone is Timmins. We played a gig in Liskeard one time. We've played on Manitoulin Island. We haven't ventured, in Southern Ontario very much. So we're very much about playing in Northern Ontario, being mostly the city of Greater Sudbury. I would say that, the North really embraces us. Every time we go out and we play, the crowd is always great. They're wonderful. They appreciate music, so that's always wonderful. But yeah, it's kind of cool to be, from the North and be appreciated by the North, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's nice. And I mean, depending on where we're playing, we've been asked to play weddings a little bit further away, and of course, we don't shy away from doing that. But we're certainly not, doing tours or doing that kind of thing. So for us, it's local. Again, back to the fact that we both have families, we both have full-time. So, we haven't made a living at it. We haven't made a go at it that way. But again, we're kind of doing this, when we want, and we get to enjoy it that way.
Yeah, it sounds like you do. That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Is this your first year being part of the Northern Arts Festival?
I believe no. I think we did take part last year. I don't remember doing an interview for it. I think we did an interview, maybe sit down, and it was kind of recorded in the moment, so not so much previous. To be fair, the last couple of years have been a real blur with COVID. We did so much virtual, we did so many different kinds of things and different kinds of events, but we're super excited about taking part in this.
Good. What are you looking forward to most about it?
I think it's going to be a really different kind of venue for us. I know that we're personally going to be at Thornley University, which we're excited about. It's like a theater style kind of situation, and you get to feel a different kind of vibe. So we're both excited about it. We're not 100% sure what to expect, but in the end, I mean, it's always a great time. So yeah, just excited to be a part of it and get to entertain people.
Yeah, and I think something that I'm learning is a lot in the music community and performance community is that sometimes you just have to roll with it and kind of improvise and do what you need to do. But audiences are gracious and I think they roll with it too. I'm sure it's going to be a great performance.
Yeah. And I think, if you talk about what do we, what am I looking forward to the most is not doing our own sound. Whenever there's a sound guy provided, it's like amazing. We just show up with our instruments and our voices and do our thing. So we're looking forward to that part too. But yeah, I'd say the venue. I think the venue is going to be interesting and what that kind of feels like.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you're going to bring to the festival.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You have a good day.
Hey, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.